Former Bahraini MP Jalal Fayrouz joins us now from the British capital, London. Mr. Fayrouz, welcome to the program. Just over the past few days, we've seen the Al Khalifa regime handing down death sentences and life imprisonment to a number of activists and opponents to the Al Khalifa monarchy. How far are the Al Khalifas willing to go to quell the uprising in Bahrain?
Well, the matter of fact is that the regime has not been able to calm down the uprising or to stop it with even the hard hitting of and crashing of this movement. Now the regime feels a little bit more supported by the external forces, especially after John Kerry's visit to Manama and President Obama's visit to Riyadh. They feel that there will be getaway of whatever atrocities they will commit. That's why they are trying to hit harder on the movement, seeking to stop it. But of course, over the past 5 years, they have been trying with that, but they couldn't. Actually, in the past week, there has been more escalation in demonstrations and protests along Bahrain. We have seen also on the international level there has been lots of condemnations. One of them came from the close ally of Bahrain and the supporter of Bahrain, which is the British government, when the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Alawi, said that the British considers Bahrain as top concern in regards of human rights. Also last week, we've seen the most prominent status definer of freedom, which is International Freedom House, considered Bahrain as one of the top worst countries of freedom in the world. So the situation is not turning for the benefit of the Al Khalifas, but you could see all the atrocities are not stopping people. You could see the figures who have been oppressively charged and detained, like Sheikh Mohammed Ali Mahfoud, Sayyid Al-Alawi, and others. They are now, after 5 years of jail, they are out, and they are demanding the same things which they have demanded 5 years ago.
Mr. Fayrouz, at the end of the day, the protesters in Bahrain are calling for more political flexibility and democracy. Why are these calls being ignored by countries like the United States and Britain? Actually,
it is really an embarrassing question for the United Kingdom. The problem is that the United Kingdom and the United States are considering these countries as the need for their own economy, because on one hand they get cheap oil from them, on the other hand they get them to buy billions of dollars of weapon, and they are also establishing whatever these countries want in keeping the security, so-called security of the Zionist regime of Israel, and that is why they are keeping mum. One of the top advisors in international affairs, she's the deputy head of the Royal Institute here in London, Jane Commonwealth, just 2 weeks ago said that it is very frustrating that the UK keeps mum of all the atrocities and human rights in Bahrain and in the Gulf states, and that is just because it just wants to keep its very narrow-banded interests on the base of just putting its head down on the ethics and all the values of the United Kingdom.
Indeed.
That's why you see that they just want their very direct interest and not care about other people's, whether they die or whatever. They are ready to keep on of all the bloodshed which is going on in Yemen, in Bahrain, in Syria, just for their own sake.
Thank you, sir. Former Bahraini MP Jalal Fayrouz joining us from the British capital, London.